We're here. Welcome, everybody. It's the Hello Companion Show for the first time live. I'm Dave Mitchell. On the call tonight, we have Andrew Church, Sean,
Hello.
Sean Campbell, and Dennis Borges. And we are Hello Companion. And we're a band in a very difficult time, uh, very strange time. So why don't we just do a quick round table like everybody does in these meetings these days with your Zooms and your Skypes and what have you. Round of introductions. Andrew, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, yeah. Hi, my name is Andrew Church. I was born December 21st, 1983. I am singer, songwriter, guitar player, piano player, keyboard, whatever, for this band Hello Companion.
And Andrew, when did Hello Companion start? What was the
That's a good
genesis of Hello Companion?
question. The genesis of it. Well, I would say it was back in 2012, maybe. I'm not sure. Um, I know that I had basically written a bunch of songs, and I had known Sean for a long time. We were like childhood friends, and I sent him a bunch of tracks, and he liked them, and I think he put bass on them, or he came over and we kind of jammed, and then yeah, we kind of had a drummer sort of for a little bit, but he ended up leaving. And then we also had another guitar player as well named Pat Nicholson. I feel like Sean's way better at this the history stuff,
I asked you one
but
question. I asked you when did it start, and you give me the life story.
yeah, I know, I know. I'm so
It's all good.
bad with that stuff. But yeah, 2012, Sean, was it, or
Well, you and
2011?
I, the demos and stuff, I'd say we started in 2011, and
Okay.
then Pat uh, sort of joined in 20, and then we were playing with what was the drummer's name again, Andrew?
Stefan.
Stefan, right? We were playing with Stefan, and then we did some demos in 2011, 2012. Remember?
Yeah.
And uh, and then yeah, we worked on songs for that year 2012, and then we just decided I think we want to have a show, so we didn't have a drummer, so we put a Craigslist ad out for drummer, one-off show or whatever, and we found Dave, and it ended up being like a solid fit. So
And here we are in the middle of a pandemic talking about how to be better people, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so Andrew Church, founder, uh, musician extraordinaire. I'm Dave Mitchell. I'm the guy that they're talking about uh, from the Craigslist ad, drummer, and currently producing this live stream. Um, Dennis, who are you? What do you do? Who is your daddy? And what does he do?
Who's your father? Um, my name's Dennis. I am the guitar player guy. I joined in I don't know 2014, and I play guitar and eat stuff for the band on behalf of the band. That's my
Official
main.
taster.
Well, we were
Yes.
talking about bringing consumption back, and I guess it's kind of already here, right?
Yeah, different kind of oh wait, yes, it's a verb and also an adjective.
There
That's
you
right. Yeah. Well, that's what I do. So,
Right
consume
on.
things.
And you write songs too.
Yes,
Yes.
that's true.
Some really fun songs. Some really
Yep, and
challenging
I
songs.
yeah, some of them, yeah, and I sometimes make videos for the band that are going to be coming out soon, hopefully at some point.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we're having fun putting
Stay
one
tuned.
together right now. Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Dennis. And Sean, last but not least.
yeah, my name's Sean Campbell, originally from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Yeah, I play bass. Been playing for about 20 years or so. Um, really miss playing with my friends here because we have a good chemistry and we play really well together. And yeah, I've been a part of this band, I guess, since from the beginning. I don't have much technical skill, but as Andrew said, I'm kind of the band historian and chronologer. So if you guys ever want to hear like a rehearsal from like March 2015 or whatever, just let me know. I'll have something for you.
Sean is the Wayback Machine for Hello Companion.
Archivist.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's a
Yeah.
pretty good title. Sean Campbell, archivist.
I'll take it.
Nice. So pandemic. This thing hit hard and fast sometime, earlier this year, February, March, mid-March. We're all, work is screwed up for everybody. And I've been working at home since March 17th. I think it's a very strange time. Last time we jammed, Sean, archivist, when was the last time we were together as a band in the studio?
Let me check my phone because I have our last rehearsal on here.
So while
I think it
Sean's
was
Sean's
March
checking his
13th.
phone, March 13th. So just before all hell broke loose.
Oh.
What have we tried to do since then? Because we've tried and failed. Well, I wouldn't say failed, but we've tried to find a way to jam remotely, which is very
Yeah.
difficult because the internet being the way it is and software being the way it is, and unless you're ponying up a pretty penny for some very expensive tools, it's difficult to do things in real time. We've tried with things like Skype and Zoom and that kind of stuff. It just doesn't work in real time. There is a program that we found, freebie actually, called Jamulus, and I'll link it up in the comments. But if there's any other musicians watching, if there's anybody watching,
We got 8 people in here.
yeah, there you go. This software is really cool. It's a little bit difficult to set up, but what it does is it allows you to live stream, allows you to connect, you and your band members to a low latency music connection. And so I had the drums all mic'd up behind me. Sean was going direct bass into his interface. Same with you guys, and it worked out fairly well. We got through 4 or 5 songs, I think, and it glitched a few times. Sounded a little bit like a robot from time to time, but generally speaking, just a little bit of lag. So I would hit the drum, and a split second later, I'd hear it in my ear. So it's not instant, but generally speaking, what was your impression, using that and trying to jam in real time, Andrew?
Yeah, well, I guess I was, I was excited to try it, and it was kind of like playing live, actually. Like when I find sometimes, like the last show that we played, for example, which I think was in November. I remember being on stage and it was happening. We were playing, but it was as if like I wasn't there. Like it was as if it was just happening by itself. And I found the same kind of thing from this, but it was even stranger because everybody was coming from a different part, like geographically, and like it was just all of this sound that was traveling in the ether. And then eventually somehow meeting up together, and so it was kind of a cool experience for sure.
Magic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sean, the difficult part for me was syncing up with you, given that being the rhythm section, we need to be tight for everybody else to follow along.
Yeah.
How did it feel for you?
Yeah, I'd say it was a little bit out of body experience. I think kind of what Andrew was describing. But I don't think it would work well for how we do and say how we kind of jam out songs. We work on songs pretty precisely. But I would say it would be an excellent tool, say if we had a show coming up and we weren't able to organize like a formal rehearsal.
Right.
Definitely be a great way to go through your set list, just get all your ducks in a row kind of thing without having to pack everything up for a 2-hour rehearsal that kind of people aren't always able to do.
Yeah.
For scheduling and stuff.
Yeah. How'd it work out for you, D?
Not too bad. I think it's like probably echoing what the guys said. It's more effective for things like songwriting or figuring out riffs. I was surprisingly surprised. Like it did kind of work most of the time.
Right.
So you kind of take what you can get in times like these, and nothing obviously replaces real jamming, but it was fun. yeah, hopefully if folks have other suggestions out there for software tools or anything like that, please let us know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And we're pretty fortunate to be able to live currently right now when we can do that. It's not like it's back in '82, Sean, where Rush and those guys, they wouldn't have been able to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what other bands are doing now. I mean, there's some bands that are putting together some really funky videos, and we've done one,
and we did the remote stuff.
That's right, and so you record along to your track and kind of splice it all together and make it look like it's seamless and in real time. There are bands that are much more well equipped to do that kind of thing than we are. But at the end of the day, I think we've done fairly well given the fact that we've been away from each other, since March. It is getting a little bit frustrating. I mean, we were on a roll. So, little quick history, Sean, you can take us through this, but there was a point in time we broke for a little while, and it took a little bit to get back into the swing of things. But it seems to me like the gel was coming together at that point.
Yeah, for sure. So we came out of the winter. We had done a recording session back in December for some tracks that are going to be hopefully on their way very soon. And we were playing most every weekend, I would say, and we were really gelling well, as you said. Like we had a couple new songs we were working on. It really felt like the machine was starting to get oiled again, as they say. And we were starting to work on getting shows for the spring and summer, because you really do have to plan ahead this day and age. And it just wasn't going anywhere as soon as like April hit, because everything was getting shut down, and now we're in the state of emergency in this province for at least another month. So.
And maybe we should, for all of the international viewers out there, the 10 internet, because everybody knows who we are.
All parts of the earth.
We are situated, generally speaking, in the Greater Toronto area of Ontario, Canada. Good enough?
Right. 100%.
Right on. So during this time, best and worst things. For me, I would say best thing is my commute to the office is about 30 seconds. I pour myself out of bed and I walk over to my computer and I'm online and I'm working. Also the worst thing, because I used to really like getting up, driving for an hour and listening to a podcast and just kind of switching the brain off or getting psyched up for the day, at work, and vice versa. Don't mind the traffic. I don't mind missing the traffic at all. That's fine for me. But how about you, D? What's been the sort of the best and worst thing as a musician? I mean, I talked about work, not being a musician in this time, but what about you?
I guess I got two best things. One is they're related to one thing, though, is having the time, like with lack of commute and just more time on your hands. I've been able to work on like my own music and our music and just practice and sit down and do all that woodshed time that everyone's like, oh, I got to sit down and really practice and drill things out. So that just comes from having more time. And then the other thing is just listening more to more stuff and going deeper into albums and pulling out all those old vinyl albums that I haven't had a chance to listen to in ages or ever yet. You just buy something and throw it on the shelf, right. 2-for-1 sale, and you forget about it. So those are the two best things, is going back and rediscovering old vinyl, digging in the shelves and the crates, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Practicing the chops, and then probably the worst thing is obviously missing you guys, playing live, just the feel of the air moving between your pants when the cymbals go, or well, sorry, that's by your ears. I'm not standing on my head
because I hit them so damn hard, Dennis.
Yeah, the floor rises up, right?
That's right.
So through the shockwaves.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably it for me, guys. How about you guys?
Andrew.
I have best things. I would say, I've got a little 5-year-old, so I guess the best things would be it's constantly active. We are constantly active outside. We're outside all the time. Mm-hmm. That's been really nice. Worst things is that you're always active and you're always outside and you're always having to do stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, and also just not being able to play, not being able to get together, yeah, with you guys not at the rehearsal place. And yeah, I find even I just try to pick up the instrument every day at least, but even just getting out of that rhythm of playing consistently and stuff like that, that's definitely been a bit of a challenge too. So yeah, but I mean, overall, like you adjust the best way that you can, and I think that we've done a great. God, I feel like I'm a hockey player. I feel like we've done well.
In the corners.
We're making an effort. So yeah,
Best you can do in these times.
exactly.
Good defense. Good defense.
Yeah,
Exactly.
good defense.
Exactly. Sean, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think this would go on this long. I've been unemployed, laid off for like 2.5 months now. It's starting to drive me crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
And yeah, same thing. I was really playing a lot, I'd say the first month or so. But then since then, my motivation, I've been really having problems with like motivation and also even concentration. So just trying to stick to some sort of routine. Because like you were saying, Dave, like getting up in the morning, clearing your brain, working, and then clearing your brain again. Like I really miss that aspect of like getting up every day because I'm definitely a creature of habit. Yeah, best things like been able to get on top of learning some like music technology that I'm about 20 years behind the times on. So that's been good. And yeah, it's been good to watch a lot of Star Trek: The Next Generation, I guess.
Catching up on your old. How many seasons of that were there?
Rewatching.
There's 7. I just finished the first one, so we'll see how long. Yeah,
Wow.
and also listening to a lot of records, like Dennis said. So going through the collection, really trying to do some active listening, and also just having some in the background while having a drink on the deck, because that's about as much as you can do sometimes.
Right on. So maybe switch gears a little
How about
bit
you,
here,
Dave?
guys. Oh, me?
Sorry, Dave.
Ah,
Yeah, how
sorry.
about you,
Yeah,
man?
thanks for asking. Yeah, I've been playing. I've been practicing a lot more. That's for sure. When the weather's not good and I'm not hopping on the bike, I'll hop on the kit and whale for an hour or so, and so the chops are good. I've set up a better recording setup and that kind of thing, which is great. But there's nothing like, my favorite thing about playing drums is falling into a groove. And Sean can attest to this. When we're locked in, it's the best thing in the world. There's nothing like it. I do a lot of cycling, and that's kind of my zen. This is like Zen times 10. Zen 10. If I'm in a groove, I'm on.
Times 10.
I miss playing out. I miss the opportunity to play at a club or a bar. That to me is the biggest thing is just getting it out. We're doing all this work and we want to share it, and the best thing, the best way to share it is live. So this, I guess, is the next best thing. It's unfortunate we can't sync up and jam for people, but we've got some videos and stuff coming out. We'll play a new video that we just released. We'll play it again at the end of the live stream for everybody. But maybe if you want to switch gears a little bit, I'm going to put some pictures up on the screen, and when they show up for you guys, I'd like to get some reactions from you. So what do you think?
Sounds good.
All right. So
Yep.
this is when it shows up on the feed.
Ooh.
You see that okay?
Yep.
So this would be the studio that we recorded we've recorded everything in, actually. And you can see just in the background, in front of the kit, Sean. And to Sean's right, who the heck is that? That was a cardboard cutout of some character. Do you remember who that was, Sean?
Some guy from an 80s TV show or something.
I think so. All right, enough
Yeah,
of that.
I can't remember who that was either.
Yeah, me neither. But there was a cardboard cutout of David Tennant
Mm-hmm.
in there, and I believe, give me a second, I believe I have Mr. Tennant available to join in. Ladies and gentlemen, special guest star David Tennant as a cardboard cutout. So he stared at me the entire time I was on the kit at the studio.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it
Uh,
was kind of scary. It's kind of scary walking around and then feel like somebody's standing there, but
yeah. And he
A
thought,
Time Lord, no less. A Time Lord, no
yeah, I
less.
was just gonna in the chat. I'm gonna ask if you guys if there are any Doctor Who fans out there, chat us up. I know nothing about the show.
same.
All right,
Same.
so someone please educate us about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Okay, next picture. What are we going to go for here? This is going to be yeah. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. So, and I hope he's watching because we love you, Mitch. So
Oh yeah.
this is Mitch Girio,
Mitch.
of many band fame, an old high school friend of mine, and very good friend of the band. What's your experience? We've all worked with him directly. Dennis, more so recently. What did you think of the experience of working with Mitch?
Oh, he's totally awesome. I mean, exchanging, just having met Mitch, but having sort of exchanged emails with him before, and then finally meeting the guy. He is like the fifth guy in the band. So cool to work with, no pressure environment. I've had some experience with producers before, and Mitch is just the greatest. He's very supportive, great to work with.
Awesome.
Lovely gentleman.
Thank you,
Lovely
Jonathan
gentleman.
Church. I'm assuming this is your brother, Andrew.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just informed us that Doctor Who is now a woman.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you, John. Thank you for that. Yeah, that was a big thing when that happened.
Yeah.
I think she's from Manchester or Birmingham or somewhere cool like that.
Oh yeah.
Sean, what's your experience of working with Mitch been like?
Oh, it's been great. I've worked with him with our band and another band that I was in, and I just really, I guess my way of working is really like to lay the drums down and then just work on the bass with Mitch, and then go and do some editing and whatever. And he always has a solution to a problem we have, a query, a musical idea. And I'd say he gives us a lot of leeway and latitude to do our work, and yeah, he's a great guy to work with.
Andrew, thoughts?
Indeed, he is. Yes. No. Mitch is a very kind guy. Very easy to work with. Very respectful of your work and your creative process. Very patient as well, and very generous with his time. And a very, very talented musician. And yeah, he's a great guy to spend time with, even just to talk with. And he's got his own podcast, I believe, called Are You Receiving Me? I believe it's called. So he's got a great kind of record thing in there where he shares lots of different tunes and stuff like that. So yeah, he's a lovely guy.
So I've linked.
And his address is. No, I'm joking.
His phone number is.
Yeah.
So for a good time, hit www.mitchgirio.com. I believe his podcast is linked up on there as well.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Mitch, if you're watching, we love you. If you're not watching, fuck you. Oh boy.
Right in the comments.
Yeah, exactly. So let's have a look at this one here. What else do we have here? Sean, you sent me this one. Why did you send me this one?
Is it a picture?
It's a picture. This would be me on the kit.
Good shot.
See, the thing is, when it was only you and me recording that day, Dave. So there's not so much content. So that was like a good shot. So I sent it your way.
Thank you. So you'll notice that I am playing the world's smallest drum kit. Here, this is my wee man. That's a 14-inch kick. So if there's any drummers or musicians who appreciate drummers, I'm not going to say that I'm a musician. I write my own stuff. That's a 14-inch kick, which is usually the size of a large floor tom. But that thing's got a punch to it, and it sounds really good. And as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is play. We have a song called Ones We Are, which is the video that we've released recently, and we'll play for you at the end of the show. And but Sean, being the archivist, the guy who has all the Hello Companion stuff, sent this over, and I'm going to play this. It's just audio, so in the background, you'll be able to hear it. Hopefully, it's not too loud, but I'll bring it back a little bit. And this is these are the bed tracks, so it's just bass and drums, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right, Sean?
Yeah, and is it with Andrew's voice? Is it that one?
Let me turn it up a little bit and find out. I've forgotten what that actually is.
Andrew had to record his voice over the phone because he wasn't in the city at the time because we were having problems with the structure of the song, right?
That's right.
Yep.
So you weren't in Toronto, and we needed a vocal guide. So for those of you listening, the way a song is typically put together the way a song is typically put together in the studio, you typically lay down what's called bed tracks first, and beds are drums and bass. And we usually use a rough guide, sometimes vocals and guitar, sometimes just vocals, to know where we are and have those placeholders, in our heads, or cues, I should say. So this, because Andrew wasn't around, you were in Halifax at the time, I believe, right, Andrew?
Yes. Yeah.
And
That's
so
right.
we called we called Andrew, and Mitch held the mobile phone up to the microphone. Here, there we go, like this, like that.
Yeah.
Demonstration purposes.
Good display.
There you go. And we could hear in real time, which is great, Andrew's vocals, and so that's playing in the background right now. Great low-tech solution to a high-tech problem.
Yeah, and it turned out well. I remember that experience, like recording things remotely, recording over what Dave and Sean had done. That was challenging for me because I was doing it in like my childhood bedroom back at home. So
is everything the way it used to be from like the 1980s and 90s, Andrew?
Yeah. I think there might be still like maybe a Spider-Man sticker or something somewhere. I'm not sure, but or a Star Trek toy or something, or like what are those called? Voodoo doll of Sean or something. I'm not sure.
You just can't live without me, can you, brother?
All right, brother. Union strong.
Let's fall off the rails.
But yeah, no, that was it was cool. And then Dennis did his. Did you do your guitar at your place, Dennis? Is that
the you mean
for those?
I honestly don't remember. I think
Yeah,
it was at
you
Dave's.
must have.
Maybe it was at my
Was
place.
it Dave?
I think so.
I think it was at Dave's. Yeah, actually, no, it was at Dave's. Yeah,
Okay.
in the bomb shelter.
Yeah, exactly. Hello Companion, or Companion Studios
Yeah.
West.
Yeah.
So here's one for you, Sean.
Ooh.
There you go. So that's
old
Sean's bass and a beautiful vintage what?
Ampeg.
Ampeg amp.
Hey, pig.
That's it.
So I didn't record through the bass amp, but Mitch has a weird thing that he can do where I record direct into his computer basically, and then he plays the bass back out through that speaker and then records it again to kind of get more of it. Reamps it. It's called reamping. Yeah, thanks, Dan. And get a more air moving sound. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. Nothing like a Fender Precision and an Ampeg.
There you go. That is musician porn right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Straight from Sean's collection.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was in my collection actually. Thank you, Andrew.
The archivist collection.
Mm.
So, what is got one more question for everybody. What's one skill that you've learned during the pandemic, and it cannot be related to the band or making sourdough bread. Dennis.
Oh man, not
Inappropriate.
much. Yeah, maybe some gardening stuff. I mean, video editing, but I've been editing videos for the band, so it's band related. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there
got
you go.
nothing, guys. Yeah, I got nothing.
No, that's a
Um,
good.
I-
That's like improvement on something that
Sure.
counts. That counts.
Yeah, and
Continued education.
whatever kind of self-improvement you can get from like clicking on a little mouse and trying to line stuff up. So
There you
how,
go.
how about you guys?
Sean.
I learned how to make beer bread. It's not sourdough, but still something.
Nice.
Mm.
Nice.
That's good.
How do you make beer bread, Sean?
So it's basically the basic bread ingredients, but instead of yeast, you use basically like a bottle of beer, and that adds the yeast and burns all the alcohol off, and then you get a nice big piece of bread, like a loaf of bread. And then it has a little bit of a hint of beer flavor, and just it's kind of nice to have.
Yeah. For me, what's a new skill I have? I mean, maybe frog catching, trying to catch frogs. That's
Why is
that's
this a skill that you have
we've
learned?
done. Well, we've gone out in the little and our little family. We've gone out to pass the time, parks and stuff, and there's frogs there, and so you try to catch them, and that's sort of a skill. They're slippery though. They're hard to get. They're really hard to catch.
What do you do with
So,
them when you catch them? Fry
I've
them up
not
with a little butter?
actually. Yeah, well, no, I've not actually not caught them. Caught one. They caught one today actually without me. But they do have those legs with you could see what that would be kind of, they look like they could taste good maybe.
Is that foie gras?
No.
No.
No, that's something
no.
different.
That's where you stuck that's where you
Goose
make
and-
a duck's liver really, really fatty by force
Oh,
feeding
okay.
it crap. Yeah. Happy times. That's what we
Yeah.
call happy time food here on the Hello Companion
And that's
show.
going to be our next brand adventure is Hello Companion Foie Gras.
Hello Companion foie gras and frog gras. Frog?
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking, Sean?
Frog grog.
Frog grog. Oh, that's even better.
Yes.
Nice. What about you? Sorry, wait a minute. It's my turn.
What
I
about
think.
you, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're up, Dave. Yeah,
So,
what about
first time ever doing brisket on the barbecue smoker recently. Actually, yesterday. So, for all you barbecue fans out there, there is a lot of patience required on the charcoal barbecue. So, got to get the heat nice and consistent. And we did about a 5.5 pound brisket. Took the better part of was almost 10 hours, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
8, probably closer to 8 hours now that I think about it, plus the resting. So took forever, but just had some for dinner tonight. It was delicious.
Do you have any left?
Yeah, I'll ship you some.
Sure.
Yeah, well, 5 pounds of meat. I don't know what it ended up reducing down to after it lost moisture and fat and stuff, but
Yeah.
pretty delicious. Gotta
Yep.
say.
Dave, you mentioned that the meat has to rest, and Carrie, or my wife, is always says like, oh, after we take some meat off the grill, we've got to let it rest, and I'm like, okay, obviously I don't want to burn myself, but the meat's not tired; it hasn't been running.
That's true.
But
That's true.
I mean, it might have been just before.
It's just been awake for a long time.
Yeah, but she had a point, and it's like it's got to sit a bit, and obviously you don't want to burn your tongue eating it too hot.
Yep.
But do you think that there's something to just letting after you take it off, you got to leave it for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean you don't
Totally.
rest everything, but typically if you're doing a steak or beef more so than pork and chicken, obviously chicken you take it off the grill, you eat it. But beef typically you want to let rest for a while, especially if it's a really big piece. But it will continue. So the heat will rise after the internal temperature will rise after you take it off the grill, and you want to get that to sort of peak and then start coming down. Also, we'll sweat out some liquid and reabsorb some of it as it cools a little bit. With brisket, you actually put it in a cooler. So it sat in the cooler for two hours last night, and
Wow.
yeah, and now my cooler smells like there's been a fire in it. But the idea with that is that it really slows down the resting, or the rate of cooling. So when you take it out, it's just, yeah, it's like it's almost falling apart. It's amazing.
Wow.
But yeah, for steak, typically if you're gonna do a steak for 8-10 minutes, let it rest for 4 or 5 minutes, and you're good to go. Yeah, the temperature comes down, but it's fine.
And that was cooking lessons with Hello
There
Companion.
you go.
Dennis
Yeah.
and Dave.
Exactly. So what do you say, guys? When do you want to wrap it up and we can play this video? Anybody else have anything to say?
I think that we should. This will be the first of many of these live streams, and I think that we got new music coming out, and good way to promote, good way for people to get introduced to it, and I think we've got lots of nice little tidbits upcoming that we can share that I think people will really like.
Awesome. Well said. Thanks, Andrew. So I'm just going to link up our website at the bottom of the screen there.
I got a quick thing there.
Yeah, go for it, D.
I just wanted to say a quick shout out to Mr. Doc B. Showed up on the super chat. Thanks to everybody that signed in to watch and listen to us. And please stay tuned for our next episodes. And we've got lots of cool videos and things coming out for everyone.
Absolutely.
And thanks to everybody.
Like and subscribe,
Thank
as they
you.
all say, right?
Yeah, totally.
So we'll do this again in a week's time. And stay tuned on, if you subscribe on YouTube, you'll get notifications. If you ring the bell on YouTube, you'll get notifications. If you subscribe, then you'll get all our new stuff as well. And on social media, we'll be posting dates and times. And with that, thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate everybody who came out to check us out, all 15 of you. And let's make it double next time.
Got to start somewhere.
Exactly. So actually,
What better place than here? What better time than now?
yeah, there you go. I'm going to drop it to this video.
Oh yeah.
Killing it.
Yeah, sounding good. Sounding even better now. Oh God.
And with that, we'll drop to the Ones We Are video. So ladies and gentlemen, it has already debuted on YouTube, but we'll throw this out to you now. Have a listen, have a look, and we'll see you again in a week's time.
Cheers.
Thanks, everybody.